call meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Henry.
Here.
Trustee Jarvis.
Here.
Trustee Penn. Here. Trustee Williams.
Here.
Mayor Jury.
Here. Public concerns.
My name is Suzanne Cavalario, and I'm at the Bay Area Bakery downtown. I think we might have brought this up before, but I have a concern about parking downtown because a lot of the businesses don't have parking places, the nature of our business, and it's every summer I get sort of annoyed, and I don't mean to, but I get annoyed with like the meter man coming in, and he really doesn't give me tickets, but he always comes in when I'm busy and blah, blah, blah. Is there any way that the village could give some sort of permit, maybe one per business for a parking place, and charge us or something so that we're not annoyed by, I mean, the parking meter men are very nice, I'm glad they're coming in to tell us, but it's just, it takes away from our business and we can't really go out and do it, so I'm just wondering if we could address that.
And this is something that we've kind of discussed from time to time, but we can discuss that. Does anybody have any thoughts, ideas?
You don't have to make a decision right this minute, and maybe I'm the only one, but.
No. Alan?
I pay $1,100 a year for my employees to have a place to park.
Ron?
When the village put those 10-hour meters in, part of the thought behind that was an employee could go to a meter, put enough quarters in where they could cover their entire 8-hour shift and not have to go out and feed the meters
But where are the 10-hour meters?
over by the old Empire property.
Well, I can't walk, I'm sorry, I can't walk that far, like
So-
after school for work, sometimes I have things in my car that I have to get.
Right.
I have big bags.
And that's something that we can discuss, and I know that was the theory behind the longer meters. But we can discuss that because we've actually considered coming up with something along those lines, but I don't know how it would work. So it's something that we
Okay.
can discuss.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Any other public concerns? Roger?
Yeah, my name's Roger Johnson, I live at 31 Anthony Street. Got some issues with property maintenance around the village. Like the sidewalks that aren't put back in, lawns that aren't mowed. What are we doing to?
Well, I
Correct.
spoke with Shooky. He had sent out some letters, and then he called me and said, what do I do when they don't comply with the letters? So I read in the code book and told him what to do when they don't comply with the letters, and have not heard anything since from him. Not that
Several
I-
letters went out today.
Did they?
For lawn,
Okay.
all regarding lawns.
As far as the sidewalks go, I'm not aware of any.
Well, I mean, over on Washington Street, you're missing sidewalk over there. It's been out for 2, 3, 4 years.
Okay.
They've never been put back in. Down by Bradley's boats down there, that sidewalk, gone. It's pretty much gone from, from the cemetery right up to, Bob Shepherd's house,
Okay.
you know. And I know they took the water line, took the sidewalk out over there at Betty Bishop's old house to put in a water
Oh,
line.
yeah.
And now it's never put back in. And, you know, I was just wondering what's going on with it.
Okay.
Because I mean, I'm in a lot of villages, and even little villages, all their sidewalks are nice, you know.
Right. Okay. I'll talk to Shooky about the sidewalks and
Mhm.
see what can be done about that.
Okay, thanks.
Are you taking comments about that?
Sure.
There's one area of sidewalk there at James Street and Bethune Street where that business is, and some of the gaps in the sidewalk go up 2 to 3 inches. And I'm really surprised somebody hasn't tripped over that and severely injured themselves.
James and Bethune.
Roger, take Yeah. comments.
You mean James and Market?
No. You know where the, right across from, it used to be a bar there, at that corner.
Church of Bethune. It's church.
Am I talking about church? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I guess it's Church and Bethune Street. And it's right there, the bar right across from Cavalierio's. on the same side of Scavalier as well, right there at the corner.
Okay,
And that sidewalk there on Bethune Street is, several places are 2 and 3 inches above, where there's a drop and there's a rise, depending on which way you're walking. And it could cause some injury and could cause some serious injury and suit against the village.
great. And we did have a sidewalk committee, but I keep making my sidewalk committee do other things. Alan?
I know different other communities are replacing their sidewalks, are actually using CDBG funds, and that's Community Development Block Grants, and that's 50/50 grant. And I know this spring the village helped do some sidewalks, and with the fundings from CDBG, with the village labor and the materials going in, that would pretty much cover 50% of the village and the property owners, and then the funding would pay for the rest. And they're doing it, what other villages are doing, they're applying for this for infrastructure for every year, and they're going through the whole village, and they're doing little sections at a time, using the CDBG funding.
Okay.
We
Maybe a
do,
sidewalk
we do
committee
offer
get together with
taking
Alan.
the sidewalks out.
Yeah.
That's always been a
I
standing
know
offer.
typically you see the village guys are demoing it out, removing it, and putting the materials back into the base.
Thanks. Any other public concerns? Correspondence. To Village Board, on Friday and or Saturday, and on Saturday nights, the music from the bars disturbs us on Carnegie Bay Road. Don't you have noise ordinance? The music sound and vibrations wafts down and keeps us awake. We have our bedroom windows open for ventilation. We go to church next morning and it's hard to get enough sleep to wake up in time. Perhaps the boosters, speakers need to be lowered and hours disturb us after midnight to lower decibel. Please give this consideration and check the ordinance for compliance. We are here during the summer only. We would like a peaceful and tranquil experience. We pay taxes to live here. Sincerely, this family. This one's quite long. I need to begin this letter with an apology to both Danielle Jury and Greg Mellett. I do not mean to raise my voice. I do not mean to yell. It is a problem that I have and I am trying to correct it. Anyone that knows me or has worked with me knows that it is a fault of mine and one that I do try to control. Please forgive me if I offended either of you. That was not my intent. I have a few questions of the board and respectfully request information or answers. I am going to read this because Lillian asked me to, and then I'm going to pass it on to you because it's your department.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 1, why do we not have full staffing for the beach? When I spoke to Greg concerning this issue, I was told that there were currently 7 lifeguards employed by the village, that the village is unable to compete with salaries offered by the state parks, and that the lack of manpower makes scheduling difficult. While I do understand this difficulty, perhaps a staggering of shifts might be more in keeping with this situation. For example, 2 lifeguards working an 8 to 4 shift on Tuesday with no one after 4. Could not one person have worked 8 to 4, the other 12 to 8? This would cover for breaks and still have lifeguards for the beach. Perhaps some of the funds earmarked for snow removal could be redirected to this area. We surely did not use all of those funds this past winter. Please understand that I do not know how the funds are earmarked or if they can be moved in such a manner. It was just a thought. Can lifeguards be volunteers or must they be hired by the village? 2, why is the park and beach area so unkempt this year? In the past, the park and beach have seemed much cleaner than this year. The beach is littered with debris, seaweed, and dead fish piled on the side of the beach area, not to mention the wheelbarrow propped up against a tree, as well as a pitchfork left there all day on very busy swim times. The bathroom, at least the women's room, has a very strong odor. We tout the beauty of our river as an attraction to Alex Bay. Might we want to consider how it looks to those visiting, to those who come to swim and enjoy what we tend to take for granted? My concern is intensified by the realization that we cannot keep the amenities we now have safe and clean. What do we do with the Riverwalk to add to the chaos? Please consider our children and their safety when scheduling shifts, leaving tools about unattended, and cleaning the beach and playground area. Thank you in advance for taking the time to read this, and I hope you will consider my concerns. Lillian A. Dingman.
I'd like to comment on that if I could.
Sure.
Well,
there was unforeseen, family illness the day she was commenting on. The lifeguard could not work her scheduled hours. So we had to close the beach at 5 o'clock. Granted, it was an extremely hot day and it was extremely busy down there. We had no one else we could call in. It isn't like I can go down there and lifeguard, I'm not qualified to do it. It was graduation weekend, all the other people were busy. There's nothing we could do. We tried to explain that to Lillian, she couldn't understand it. She did not mention anything about the cleanliness or any of that during that conversation, correct, Greg? It was all about why was the beach closed at 5 o'clock. I was with Greg when she called, she never called me. We tried to explain to her, we had no lifeguards. That's why the beach was closed.
Our
It was
shifts,
it was
our shifts
unforeseen.
from last year we ran into trouble in the middle of the day when it was really busy. So this year we did a shift from 9:30 to 3, 1 to 8, and then I got a triple overlap from 11 to 4, right in the middle of the day. Alan, your daughter works there, she knows the shifts that we set up, and that's the shifts. If a lifeguard calls in, they're to call another guard. If something happens, if somebody was sick, we just, the one boy, that was hired for us got called by the Army ROTC, so he's gone for a month, so I lost him for a month. And that same exact day, we hired another lifeguard that day. That kid couldn't start work that day, he started the next day. So we hired the last one that was in our list, and I do believe we just received 2 more that could go on the call list too, but it's one of those call-in things, it's not something where somebody gets sick on purpose, we don't try to not cover it, 'cause we've ran into that before.
It was scheduled
It was
in there.
scheduled
The girl was
time, but
sick.
it just didn't happen.
What are
One
you gonna do?
one lifeguard was a senior and she couldn't do it. Actually, 2 of them were seniors and didn't graduate that Saturday. So, but, I mean, that's the only excuse.
Okay,
I got a comment.
sure.
I think it was the same day, but the Farmville School came with some buses. And on the way out of town, they called my cell phone and said they had a great day there. Thanks for having the guards on. And they thought it was clean, nice. Thanks for having them all picked up for them. So I think throughout the day, people mess things up. Maybe you don't get at them until the next morning, but. So that's when there's a lot of use, things get messed up a little bit.
Yeah. I will take a motion to approve the minutes from the June 12th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 12th minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Penn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Motion to pay the bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Motion by trustee Jarvis.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Motion to pay the payroll.
I'll make a motion to pay the payroll.
Motion by trustee Penn, seconded by trustee Jarvis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Trustee reports. Trustee Henry.
Well, the park is busy with the weather. We're doing the best we can. I've had a lot of comments from a lot of people in the village that said the park looks very well and looks very kept, and they're really happy with what's going on up there. I'm happy with what's going up there. It's unfortunate that we can't have the village park open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but things happen. There's some new signs down on the dock. The kids are working down there, and everything looks good to me.
There will be a new railing put up Thursday or Friday morning. We're gonna put railing posts from the dock, from the ladder, to the swimming ladder. We're gonna put posts up, and we'll be running ropes with loops so the kids can't climb up them and jump over. Because of the water being so low, it's only 6 inches and it's only 1.5 foot to the ladder. So the kids jump off the side of the dock, somebody's gonna get hurt. There's a couple of big, always were there, even when we were kids, the big stones there. So we're gonna put a loop rope there, called the state, and state okayed it, and they're gonna come down and look at it. So we'll have like a fake rope there, so if it did ever get deep again, we could untie the rope, leave the post there, and they could still jump off. But until we get some water, it's not good down there. So it'll be roped right out to the ladder, so you'll walk out by the rock, and there'll be a rope railing on the one side. So that'll be done this week.
That's all I have.
Okay. Trustee Penn?
They're doing the mowing and stuff at the golf course, just keeping it up. How is that golf course, Roger? Is it good?
Beautiful.
I've heard some good reports, I've had a couple bad reports of greens and stuff, but the majority are good reports, they're working very hard. And we did have a little issue with it being very hot, in the clubhouse, but we really can't warrant another air conditioner for the amount of times it's really hot in the bay, you know? So, it's the new coolers, so we're gonna try to move the coolers into the back rooms to try to, so that the heat from the new coolers aren't going into that room, because the new coolers give out a lot of exhaust.
So are people gonna be able to go in the back room to get, or are they gonna kind of order?
What we're gonna do is just put what we have in, what we offer in the case,
Oh.
and then say what they want, and the girls will go get it.
Okay.
So, that's our thought. They have to come and move the machines, because we don't want to move their machines.
Yeah.
And another thought is go back to the vending machine for the Pepsi outside, so we get rid of one cooler in there. But we're still looking at different options. And I better get a sidewalk committee meeting scheduled. And I didn't know, would you wanna just maybe come and, you know, just tell us about the CDBG funding, or if you just wanna give me some information, we can look it up.
Well, actually, I think the village has a couple of CDBG grants out there still outstanding,
Okay,
so I mean, you should have.
so we have information here. Very
But I'd be
good.
glad to attend if you wanted to.
Okay. And that's all I have.
Okay. Trustee Jacks?
Mr. Kernahan is gonna be using his last 3 sick days on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and that will start his retirement. Flow meter was calibrated on 625 by Aqualogics. And, along with this, Garth Hogan will need to be authorized to sign the state reports. We need to notify him to DEC, in writing.
Okay. Trustee Williams?
Everything's good in my department. No, they've been really busy picking up downtown, picking up yards, fixing stuff. And, still they're a couple guys shorter than they were last year, so. That's all I have to report.
Okay.
If they're short-handed, why don't you hire some people? You always have somebody out down there.
We just, what happened was, there's two in the limbo, we just lost one at the city of Watertown, which we're trying to hire one full-time, and the other one's still an ongoing thing to move that up, but if we can hire one full-timer and move another part-timer in, because what happens right now is I lose one for the month of July, because he goes on vacation the month of
Right.
July. I lost one last week because he's on vacation for a week. And then what happens is I have Dennis and Bill, they have to take Fridays and Mondays off to work Saturdays and Sundays. So you're down to 3 guys working during the week, so it's getting tough. It's just, it's tough to keep up with, you know? I mean, so that's what we're working on tonight. I hope that we'll be.
In Greg's defense, I mean, and it was like that when I was down there too. Why the hell, if they have to work overtime, do they have to take time off? You're taking time away from these guys. I mean, they're coming in on a weekend and working to keep the village looking nice. And you're punishing them, like making them take time off during the week. That doesn't seem fair. It never
Actually-
did.
Actually, we switched that now,
Huh?
Raj. The full-time guys that come in get paid time and a half.
They don't
They
take
do
time
now.
off.
They don't take time off now.
Perfect.
But the part-timers do, because they can't be scheduled over top of your full-time
Right, I
guys. So
understand.
we have to, if I can't get full-time guys, I call right down through the list like I did to Dennis and them last weekend. If I call my full-time guys in first, if I can't get somebody to come in, guess what? A part-timer's coming in for overtime. If that's where it ends up. Like, I mean, we ended up clearing, we went during the boat run, we picked up in between the 2 guys that I had coming in. So it's one of those things where you try to hit it and miss it and keep it. But the full-time guys that come in and sweep and pick up do get paid time and a half.
That's good.
They do.
Good. 'Cause I know that was always an issue when I was there.
Right.
And nobody wanted to work. Why would you?
Right. Okay, police report, May 8th through June 12th, 99 calls and complaints, 6 arrests, 5 vehicle stops, 3 court security details, 11 school crossing details, dog officer report, 7 dog complaints, 6 warnings issued, 0 tickets issued, 1 dog picked up, 1 dog returned, submitted 6/26/12 by Chief James Marshall. Old business, lift pumps.
Once again, we're gonna table, we're gonna have a site visit in July from the company,
Okay.
and we will be having better answers on.
Steve and I did this on purpose because we weren't getting the answer that you guys wanted. It was never a complete answer from Costa to have them come in and look exactly what we need to do. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? If we got a motor here that needs to go with that pump, there's no sense of putting the pump in and then having to buy a motor later. So we felt that if, once we got Hoagie in there and got him down in there, and we have Costa come in and take a look at it, and physically have them come here and say, this is what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, because we kept getting different prices, and you guys kept asking. It was like a 10,000, and it was a 16,000, and it was a 5,000. So we went and said, let's just wait till everything gets settled down and get these guys get as people out there, they're running in there right now, but they need, we got one that's
Right,
getting
and
close.
keep in mind that it has,
We
it's
got
gonna
one.
take 30 days for the
Well,
referendum.
we got one that's
so-
getting close again for Bering, so that's what I'm saying. We'll get Costa in here and say, hey, let's see what we can do.
What day are they coming in? Do we know? Do we know what
They
day
don't
they're
have an
coming?
exact date written on.
I'd like to know when they're coming in.
I will let you know.
Thank you.
I will take a motion to table the lift pumps.
I make a motion, we table the lift pumps.
Second.
Motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Williams, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 20 Walton Street adjustment.
That was the adjustment on the water bill last time. You asked why the bill doesn't get sent to the right place, and the office was never notified of the sale,
Okay,
so that's why it wasn't sent to the new one.
okay, so
So they're asking that we adjust the bill for being late.
the $7.20? That's
Yes.
to credit them $7.20? I will take a motion to credit 20 Walton Street $7.20.
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion by trustee Williams, seconded by trustee Jarvis, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Website. Trustee Jarvis.
At the moment, the website from One and One Company is shut down. Was asked, do we want to go with Towpath Company, which is $600, or do we start and just build a new one? Mr. Cummins is on vacation, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we're going to try to get together and build a new website.
All right, may I say something?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, in regards to the website, my original agreement was with you to tutor whoever
Mhm.
how to access the website,
Mhm.
how to upload documents, post notifications, and upload audio. I'm really not interested in being involved with the
Building.
creating or building of a website. That might just freak too many people out.
Okay.
So, my offer still stands whenever you guys decide to,
Okay.
yeah.
Can we get our domain name back?
We don't lose the name thevillageofalexandriabay.com. It's the website, is now at, Gus Withington was paying, $9.99 a year, and now it's $9.99 a month. The question is, do we want to go back to that website and rebuild from it, because it's not there now? Do we go with Digital Towpath, which has Village of Clayton, Town of Clayton, Sackett's Harbor, just tons of government websites that are easily built? That is $600 a year.
So if that name is still sitting there, that it's still ours, can't you go back and do whatever Gus did originally? And just,
You can transfer the
$9.99.
domain, it's rather easy.
well, why don't we, we'll have to check into it, I don't see spending $600 a year, yes.
There's a lot of kids at school that are experts on this stuff, juniors and seniors, and I asked my nephew about it, and he said, why don't you just get one of the school kids to help you with it, because they might be able to do it for a project and they all know what they're doing, so.
If we get that $9.99 one back a month that Gus had, will that bring our old website
No,
back with
that
it?
website's long gone. The big thing is you don't wanna lose your domain name.
Right.
So for instance, there's WordPress.com and there's WordPress.org. WordPress.com, you could create something along the lines of WordPress.villageofalexanderbay.com. But if you went with WordPress.org, you could actually bring in your own domain name. The domain name is just a sticker, basically, that goes on any website that you choose. So the big thing is you've gotta get a website up and running. You've gotta get something, and it doesn't have to be too elaborate, like I've said before, it can be really simple. Simple is easy to manage.
Okay. All right, anybody else have anything under old business? No? New business. Officer remote training tolls and meal allowance. I didn't know if this was it. Do you have the dates when he's doing that? July, is that the one, July 12th?
Yes.
Where's he going?
This is-
Batavia?
He's going to Batavia for Glock armor training, so that he can, service all of our weapons and we don't have to send them out, which is gonna save us a considerable amount of money over time. But going there, he needs money for tolls and a meal allowance.
He's also gonna be paid, correct?
Yes, yes.
He'll be certified to service those weapons.
Mhm.
I make a motion to pay for his training tolls and meals on July 12th to service the Glock weapons.
Motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Jarvis, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Oh, that's what these are. This is all the things from, okay. Permission to sell alcohol on sponsored event. Is it Capon? Capon?
Steakhouse.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole bunch of them. Okay. He wants to sell on July 14th. I don't know if these are all the same. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. On July-
Basic read, into the two pirates, he called me on the phone, he asked me, two pirates, the Hog Rally and the Blues Fest.
Okay. So it's just for the beer trailer that he's had before?
Mm-hmm.
So,
This is what I had concern about. This is a lot of weekends. This is like half the summer if you're taking 2 months, July and August. That's 2 months or half the summer that you have a beer truck on the street. And it does take away from the other bars. I mean, I don't even have a bar anymore, but I used to have a bar, and it does do a lot of damage to your bar. I mean, they selling beer down there, they have music down there, and then the bars get bans, and then they have to pay for bans. By the time that people come up to the bar, they've already drunk and danced, and they go home. So I'm just thinking that that's a lot of time to have a beer truck on the street for the other bars. It's a concern of mine.
right. Thank you. Any other thoughts?
Oh, we've done it before. I
We
mean,
have, and-
You have a tent down there on Blues in the Bay, and you got stuff going on Pirates Weekend, it's on his property. Yes.
I'm sorry, maybe I can say something else. Maybe to have, if we're gonna sell beer down at the event, maybe we could have each bar in town take a turn to sell beer at an event. I know he's like basically on his own property, but he's selling on the edge of his property right onto public property, so.
Right,
maybe
but
to
there's
make-
open, we have, for these events, lifted the open container law for just beer.
I know, but the dancing and everything and events is
Right.
all in one place. So
Right.
he's basically at the event, so maybe we just like let the other bars have a chance of being down there too. Or,
Well, the
let
way
them
that he
have
gets
a
a-
booth or something.
Right, the way that he gets away with it, and same with Dock of the Bay, because they are on their own property. You can't have some other business.
But they're selling, like, this is their property, they're selling onto public property, like, right on the edge. So they're not really complying with the state liquor authority they're controlling, like, who they're selling to, because it's going to public property and up the street. But they don't know if it's going to a minor or not a minor or whatever. So
Right, but it's their job to ID those people at the site where they're doing it, and whether they are or not is not necessarily something that we regulate. So all we can do is do what's been done for years and years now, and I understand your concerns.
I'm just saying to take a look at it and see. I mean,
Yeah.
even though we've done it for years, it doesn't mean it's right.
Absolutely,
So I'm just saying to take another look at it.
absolutely.
I make a motion to let them sell beer July 13th to 14th, August 8th, 9th, and 10th, August 26th, blues, August 31 through September 3rd.
Motion by trustee Henry,
Second.
seconded by trustee Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Posting of signage at public docks for aquatic plants. Mary Lou, do you know who this came from?
Came from, I think her name is Carol Lamoureux, maybe?
It's just some information about preventing the spread of invasive species, plants, animals that they can impact boating, fishing, swimming, in the environment. And they want our permission to post these just at the docks throughout the village,
And the boat ramp?
in the boat ramps. Has everybody seen this?
Is that how big the sign's gonna be?
I think that's what they're gonna be, just little flyers they're gonna post. Did she say, Mary, did you speak to them?
I'd like to speak to it.
Okay. So do we wanna,
What they're concerned about is, let's say you have a bass boat in there and he's got his live wells full of water
Mhm.
and there's a basis plants, and then going, say, to Crystal Lake and launching that boat and pumping over transference of aquatic plants is what it's all about. I knew nothing about this. I'd like to speak to her, where she plans on putting theirs or what it's involved. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, I just like to know how they're gonna do it. That's all I'm saying.
okay. Does someone wanna make a motion that per Russell's conversation, if he feels comfortable, that it will be allowed, or do you wanna table it?
I'd just like Russell maybe to give us all a call, and then we'll approve it or disapprove it. Is that all right?
Fine for me.
Motion by trustee Williams, seconded by trustee Jarvis to allow Russell to talk with the lady and decide and let everybody know. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution regarding funds balance. Mary Lou?
I don't think that is that for Judy?
Yeah, non-spendable. As required by GASB 54, authorize the treasurer to assign fund balances as follows. Do you want to make a motion to table the resolution regarding funds balance until I speak with Judy?
I mean, I think we're allowing her to, what she's asking is us to allow her to assign them into different funds. And I'm not really sure what that means.
I think it's something that she was talking about, but not to me, something that needs to be done right away, so maybe you wanna call her and let her
Come out
all
and,
know.
okay. So we'll wait on that. Give her a call. Defensive driving class, permission to use the community room. Empire Safety Council wish to use the community room, date to be established, sponsored by LP Thompson. request for defensive driving class to be held in the community room for reduction on insurance premiums. This class was held here previously. A cost for instructor and books is the only fee incurred. Costs go down by amount, attending 35 for 20. Costs go down for over 20 people, $27. Jody Hanch. I don't know how we can approve it without a date. I mean, we can approve, someone could make a motion to allow them to do it pending on the date.
Do we allow folks that get charged to use our facility?
We've allowed that one in the past.
Yeah. I guess we could make a motion, provided the date's available.
Okay. Motion by trustee Penn, provided the dates available to allow them to hold their defensive driving course. Anybody want to second that?
Who's LP Thompson? Insurance?
She's an insurance out of Hammond, I think.
What's the name?
L.P. Tom? Yeah, Lynette.
We've allowed them before.
So now it's
Yeah.
done.
I mean, we can table it and check into it. If nobody's comfortable with it, we can table it.
I think we gotta check into it.
Okay, I'll take a motion to table.
I make that motion.
Second.
Motion by trustee Williams, seconded by trustee Jarvis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Coin sorter. Our coin sorter is broken. So the girls in the office would either like permission to get a new one, or they would have to drive to Watertown to get our coins counted.
Both of them were broken.
And they don't even make parts for them anymore. Molly spent most of the afternoon on the
If they go to
phone.
Watertown, they have to, two people have to go.
How much is a new coin sorter?
Well, she gave us a couple passes each one. If you flip it up to the second page,
550?
yeah.
There's one that's $5.50, but it's plastic and it's the lowest grade they have.
Mhm.
So it's $700.
I think
I think they're more
we're
than that.
talking 2,000 probably at least.
$2,700. One-year warranty is $2,790, it says here.
75 for shipping.
I know that they'd be 5 days counting that.
Oh, I know it.
And we've sent those away year after year,
Mhm.
and they come back and they work maybe 3 months.
You might get through the season.
You might make a season, we just, those are both, they've been sent out several times. What's wrong with them, there's a gear missing.
That's what says
They're just,
1250.
it's different, it's a different style now, they just don't make it no more. We tried to get the gears changed last year and they sent them right back, they just fixed them the best they could. They have to go all the way to Florida to be fixed.
Is this the one that you have highlighted? Is that the one that you girls like? The $1,215
How
one?
much is it?
$1,215?
Well, she highlighted that one, but it used to be you could sort them and then wrap them, but the machines they have now, you have to buy a sorting machine and a wrapping machine. So it's basically double that price. And that's who we had come before, the clap type machine. And one Russell has it out of Syracuse, the other one's out of Florida. So, we would like to go local if you decide to buy, if you don't wanna take them to Watertown.
Now, you
Or
take
you
it
could
to
run it.
Watertown Savings Bank?
Yeah, and we just take it there and they run it through the machine and it's done in half an hour.
But they don't have a machine here, right?
They don't have a machine there.
And we sample twice a month, so we got a truck going out there twice a month anyway.
Like in the store.
Oh, do we? And then go out there when the truck goes out?
We sample twice a month.
How about if we called the branch manager in Watertown and asked him if he couldn't get one of the machines here so we could be like Watertown and people could bring their change? Huh?
They're expensive.
Yeah, but the bank's getting the deposits.
Doesn't Watertown Savings have one down here?
No.
No, they got one in
Well,
Watertown.
they need to get one down here.
Well, do we wanna table this and someone can,
Actually, they like us doing our change because they keep our change down here, so they don't have to ship it all the way back from our town. So if they get it out there, they ship it back.
They give it by the machine.
so do we, someone wanna make a motion to table this and we'll check into it?
What's Clayton using? Does anyone know what they're doing?
Probably got their own, they probably have a machine.
I'm sure they got a grant for it. I was not.
I'd like to table it until we get a little bit more information.
Should we give her permission to go and buy one if that's not a good deal?
Well,
No, I think they should go to Watertown
Yeah.
until we make the
Either,
decision.
We'll figure it out.
nobody put quarters in
Okay,
anymore.
motion
I
by
think we have a truck
trustee,
going out.
That's why I say we're out twice a month, so if somebody wants to ride with us for 2 people, they can ride out.
Right,
motion by trustee Jarvis to table,
I'll second.
seconded by trustee Penn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Launch Small Ship Adventures.
They want to add a couple weeks on in October.
They wanna add October 7th, departing October 8th, and arriving October 20th, departing October 21st.
We've already given them permission for previous dates prior to that. They're parking down by the village park at the cement dock,
Mhm.
usually the Caribbean Princess or whatever. They're bringing business into town. There's not a lot going on at the park in October. I say make a motion to give them permission to go down there.
Motion by trustee Henry,
Second.
seconded by trustee Williams, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Church of the St. Lawrence parking problems. Dear Mayor Jury, as wardens of the Church of St. Lawrence, 7 Fuller Street, Alexandria, New York, we have been directed by our church's vestry to express our concerns regarding the TI River Run motorcycle rally scheduled June 29th through July 1st in Alexandria Bay. Many of the scheduled activities for this rally occur at Scenic View Park in Alexandria Bay. Our church is located across the street from Scenic View Park. Our deep concerns regard the unauthorized and illegal parking of motorcycles and vehicles on the church property, which adversely affect our church activities and Sunday services. Last year, prior to this same rally, our minister sent a letter reviewing our parking concerns but received no response. We are enclosing a copy of this letter for your perusal. Also, during last year's rally, as with previous rallies, motorcycles and vehicles filled our parking area, causing activities at the church to be canceled on Saturday and a delay in Sunday services. Most of the motorcycle owners were attending the activities in Scenic View Park and moved their bikes willingly and with apologies. However, several owners could not be located and their bikes and vehicles remained. 3 photos are enclosed for your review. We could, of course, have called a local wrecker service and had the vehicles towed away, but such a course of action would not have been in the interest of our community and would have presented a poor public image. Therefore, we would like to recommend a solution to our problem, which we hope will meet your endorsement and support. The village should place parking barriers in the parking areas in front of the church property. Such barriers are owned by the village and are currently used for such events to block out traffic on Upper James Street during the Blues Festival. This would greatly control the expense necessary in resolving this issue. Our church would be willing to remove any restricting barrier to attend our church needs and replace the barriers until our church needs are fulfilled during this weekend. The village could then pick up the barriers on the following Monday for use as needed in other areas. We wish to work with the village and trust you will reciprocate for the benefit of everyone. We feel such a viable solution could be used in the village for any future events which may cause similar concerns with our community. Thank you in advance for considering our request and suggestions. Richard Durand and Harvey T. Jones. I'll pass these down and then we can look at the pictures. Is that something, we have the barricades we can do?
Just tell me where you want them. They're out there all weekend anyway. I mean,
Okay.
we don't move them. Usually the bikers move them
Mhm.
when they're done. So if it's something, I mean, they stay right there at the park. The barricades and stuff, they can leave it like that. If it's something they wanna handle, I won't have people in there to handle. You know, bikers move everything around that whole weekend.
Right, but if we blocked off, if we put the barricades on the church property on Friday afternoon, before you guys are done, and then pick them up Monday morning,
You're just saying on the church side, just in the
Yep.
wrong side?
We
I
normally,
understand the picture, I'm not sure.
Right.
I'll get it to you.
we normally park on, in the parking at St. View Park.
Mhm.
But this is an activity which is filled, during the motorcycle week, and we don't park in that area. But we can't park in front of the church on our own property because of the motorcycles and other vehicles which are parked there. In the past, like I've indicated there in the letter, most of the bikers have been very cooperative and very understanding about that and have moved them. But sometimes you can't find who owns the bike because they stay there overnight. And,
What's probably the easiest thing for us is we have those round plastic barrels, which would be lighter for you, because you start carrying those barricades, you're not gonna want it.
Yeah.
But what we could do is throw 4 or 5 of those down through there and then ribbon it off with caution tape.
right.
And then when you come in on Saturday
On
or Sunday,
Saturday,
when you use them, just move it.
If we can do that, then we can
It's a lot
move them
lighter.
out of the way and then we can
Those-
replace them.
those barricades are heavy.
We can do that.
Yeah, because we could hook right to the one-way sign, and then there's another sign down further. So we can go all the way down to the past the telephone pole.
Well, we thought that was the most viable solution, because that way you already have the barriers or the barrels, or whatever you can
I'll
use.
put a-
And it wouldn't cost anything, and this way you wouldn't have to have a policeman out there to patrol the area, because it's too expensive to do something like that. So,
Okay.
we have people in the church who just can't walk, Dick and Mary and Sherry.
Right.
They can't walk but a short distance, and we have other people like that in the church too, and we just need that parking area up there.
Okay.
Yeah, we can just ribbon that off, and then break the ribbon and throw it away when it's done, you know, I mean.
Yeah, the only problem that we might have is if we have the barrels or something like that, and the motorcyclists still come in there for some reason. Then the only alternative we have in that case would be to call the policeman and police department and say, come up here and issue a citation or something like that. That wouldn't resolve our problem for that time, but it might give them second thoughts about parking in the area.
Right.
But we think that it should be put up there on Friday, because a lot of the motorcyclists come in there and park overnight, and they stay there. And they're there Saturday when the people come in, and we come in to do our activities on Saturday in preparation for the church on Sunday. And then on Sunday, they're there from Saturday night, and so.
I just think the police can take the hit, just,
Good job.
Guess what?
Take it apart.
It's easier with the caution tape, we'll put the plastic.
Don't you
barrel.
think the motorcycles will move?
I think we should do it right on Thursday.
I think you should too,
Thursday
but I think
afternoon.
you should put the wooden barricades up.
You what?
I think you should use the wooden barricades so no one will move them. The police tape, they're just gonna,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can, if you know, if you're up there and you wanna move them, I mean, we'll put them up there. We can put them
would
up
you
there
have a
Thursday
problem with
afternoon.
moving them?
Pardon?
Would you have a problem moving the wooden barricades? I mean,
I
I'm
don't
sure the
think so,
bikers
because I
would
think we
help
could
you
get
move.
enough people at the church to.
What I'll do is I have DPW ones and I have, village police ones that say police line, do not cross, so we'll put the blue ones up there, so they know that the police is involved, if they don't want you on there, so it makes a difference, a lot of difference between the blue one and the red one.
Okay. That would
Not that
be,
it'll work, but it makes a difference.
that would be extremely helpful, and we appreciate, because we're all in support of the rally on anything that will bring money into the community or
Well,
bring.
you know what I
activities
like
to the
about it? You presented the problem, but then you offered the solution for it.
Well, I had words with our minister about his letter of the previous year, because he complained about it and then but didn't offer any solution. I said, the best thing to do, to me, the way I do business, is if I complain, I at least give you a solution. It may not be the one you want or the one you can accept, but at least it is what I think is a viable solution, so that you can eliminate the problem. Because then you can do the same thing for other activities that you may have during the year, even if they may have the same problem that we have.
Sure.
And this way it gives you a solution for all of those particular problems.
I'd like to make a motion to place the barricades up there for starting on Thursday or Friday or Thursday, I would think is when you want to do it.
It's a motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Jarvis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Hire meter attendants. Who are we hiring? Willie Cole
We're in
and
Jim.
Jim. So I will take a motion to hire Willie Cole and Jim
Miles.
Mills.
Millis. Excuse me. It's down at the bottom, it's in 13 too.
Yes.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, we can wait and do it all down in 13 then. Hire the treatment plant operator. Gary Hogan applied for this position, so what is,
That's chief operator.
what's that? Chief operator. What do we wanna do?
Is that two different things you're talking about?
Huh?
No, it's
No.
one.
Well, I
it's
switched
that.
because we were doing the, what do you mean?
He said chief operator, and this says.
He's already an operator, he moved
Yeah,
up to
it should
Bobby's
be-
position.
it should be
Oh,
chief.
to hire chief operator.
And that'll be effective when Bobby's done?
Bobby's done.
I saw him today.
Bobby's done today. Today was his last
He
day.
has 3 sick days since we use them.
So effective on Bobby's official day, last day, or his,
His last official day is the 30th.
at what rate, or what are we doing? We're hiring him, what are we,
You guys,
We just can't hire somebody if we don't know
He
him.
Is it
goes
in the
salary,
contract?
he goes salary and everything, you guys haven't, somebody should talk to him.
but, well, we should talk about it before we do it.
Yeah,
It's a big change.
Well, we can
Check,
talk
check
about
and
it.
see the contract.
He's one of the
Well,
only
we
other
have to
ones,
hire
he's
him.
one of the only other ones that's salary.
yeah, we do. And
You can appoint him right now to sign bills and do the state reports. Become acting chief operator, and then he can do that.
Okay. And then we can decide before the next meeting?
Yep.
So what we need is,
I mean, you could pay him the wages or whatever the wages you guys are gonna bump up. Usually it's, I think it's $1,000, I'd have to look at the contract.
so we need to make a motion to appoint him to sign, what was that in your report that you asked for?
He needs to be able to sign bills,
Sign
so
bills
he needs to be able to sign the state report.
and
Needs to
sign
sign
state
the state
report.
I thought we already did that, didn't
Mhm.
we?
It's gonna sign the state reports.
So,
It was listed at 1307, but he needs
right. So
would be a contract.
I'll take a motion to appoint him to be able to do, sign the bills and send in the state report, and then we'll check into the other stuff.
Right. Make him in and talk to him.
Put him temporary, right? Temporary, put him.
Yes.
Well, no, we're just giving him permission now to sign bills and do the state reports.
Sounds good.
Did you make a
Second
motion?
that motion.
Was it you or Russell?
I've made a
I was making.
Okay. Motion by trustee Penn, seconded by trustee Jarvis, all in favor?
motion.
Opposed? Carried. Meters.
Okay, the water meters, model 25 faces and model 40 faces on the regular house meters have become obsolete finally, so we're down, we have absolutely none left. They don't make them anymore, so we've got to switch to a different type. This is the cheapest one, I'll put one out there, it's, you buy the face, and so people won't see, the numbers won't be on the outside of your house anymore. It'll be a round black thing. We walk up and touch it with a wand, and it reads your downstairs meter. It don't have, so now you never have a duplicate read of something down cellar and something outside, they don't do it anymore. Okay, here's $68, this is one company that we have Badger. There's retrofits from Census, which I haven't gotten yet, this is the first one that got back, but I don't have anything to repair anything with right now.
Well, we did put money in the budget. for
We did put
meters.
money in there, but I'm just saying, for us to start repairing meters, we've got to buy meters before we can repair any more meters. We're completely out now. And we ran them right to the end, I mean, we had quite a few of them, and we ran them to the end. Every other village, we're probably gonna be one of the last ones to ever go, but everybody else is radio read. Where you drive by in the truck, it's just like NIMO. It's a big grant program. It would start out, and to start that grant program, it's $9,900, and you only get 10 meter faces to start your program for $9,900. But that sets your software up for their computer, the computer read that you have in the truck. So all we would do is, we would never be handling numbers against it. It would be, we'd come in, plug our computer into their computer, nobody would be misnumbered or anything, it would read everything. We could drive by a house and see if somebody's got a face off their meter. They're real sophisticated now, they're not like they were, but that's $9,900. They do have another reader one, a reader one that'll send out to the outside of the house, which is $138 a piece. That's just a face and a reader that goes outside that we could start, but we still have to touch read them. We're still gonna have to walk around like we're doing right now. So that's what this $68 ones are. You're gonna be still walking, guys are gonna still be walking. The others are, it's a program that most of the meter companies have out there. It's a starting program. for the soft links was. So I told them I figured the $68 ones are gonna be right on the button. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So if that's where you wanna go, I just need to go, I need to be able to at least order, I'd like to order 50 of them.
Do you remember how much we put in the budget? We'll have to look at it.
And these meters that we have in, we already have the bodies, we switched back to brass bodies, like in years now, we went to the plastic, went back to the brass bodies. These all can be retrofitted someday down the road. You can take the faces off that we're putting on for $68, and if you decide to go to the Radio Read, you can still do that with the bodies we have. And we can rebuild those bodies. So someday you can just say, okay, that's what we're gonna do, we're finally gonna go to Radio Read. You take them off, put the new faces on, put the antenna out, and you can drive by.
Okay.
You get 2 or 3,000.
Yeah, I think for now, we're gonna go with the $68 ones.
Mhm.
So I'll take a motion to allow Greg to, get some new meters.
If you let me buy 100, they'll give me a reader free.
Well, we have to see how much we put in.
That's
Your-
only
$10,000.
$680. Is it 10,000 we put in?
10,000.
Really? Wow.
Bingo.
Oh.
How much is the line, Greg? Greg, how much is the line?
The one is $500, they're gonna give me one. And the only reason I need another one is because if I put a meter on my streets that I read, and Hogan's got one on his street, then we're gonna be walking back and forth to get the wand. I've already got one wand. I found one. It was floating down by the dock down
I make a motion to let Greg go.
there. I got one, so we just need one more.
Buy the meters that he needs, we're spending 10 grand on meters.
We're
Yes,
not
well, it's not gonna be
spend-
10
We won't
grand.
spend it
No.
the full 10. I'd
Just
like-
enough to get the free one.
Right.
If it goes to 100 faces, you've got 550 meters in the village, so you're gonna use 100 faces.
Right.
As soon as a face breaks, you're gonna just put a new face
Great.
on.
And then you said if we buy these new meters, that the readings will be so much better that
Well, the reading will
we're
be.
gonna get our money back in a month.
Well, what you're gonna get is, the meters we have a, if anybody remembers how far back in school, when you built that little motor that had the little wires on it and wound it all through with magnets? Magnetized, that's how that signal sends out right now. Okay? The new one that we put on now will read that face that's downstairs off the magnet. So you'll be getting the number that's off the actual meter now. Which that's what we just did to Bonnie Castle, and that's what we did to Jerry Shavers, because their masters, their big meters were broke, and that's all you can go to now is a touch reader, a radio read. They don't make anything else. It reads down off the face now. It's the actual reading off the face, which,
So if you buy 100 of them together.
I'm thinking if we buy the 100, we'll get the one.
And so then you're gonna start putting them.
And we
Around.
replace right now, I got probably 15 broke right now that I gotta get faces.
And if they're broken because of the person's negligence, they have to pay for it.
Right, if they freeze and break, if it's a body, they freeze and break, they pay for it. The body is, the face and the thing, the faces don't usually break, the freeze and break goes out the back, and they pay $68 for the body. We just put that face off on the other body. Usually that's the only negligence you get off anybody, is if they let it freeze and break. I've never seen one break any other way.
Okay. Motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Jarvis to allow Greg to get the meters. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Letter of support for a grant from the Historic Preservation Grant application. Dear Mr. Honeyman, our organization business is in full support of the town of Alexandria for a historic preservation grant to perform needed repairs to the Chamber of Commerce building in downtown Alex Bay. This historic building and its function as the Chamber of Commerce office is important to the town and village to support the tourism economy. We believe this project should be awarded a grant to allow the building to be restored and maintained as a Chamber of Commerce building for the community. Yeah, but I need permission to do it. So, I'll take a motion to allow me to sign. Did you want to read it?
Make a motion to allow you to sign in support of the Historic Preservation Grant application.
Second.
Motion by trustee Jarvis, seconded by trustee Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, I need a motion to hire James Millis, Willard Cole, Shannon Taylor, Derek Larkins, Caitlin Tillman, Daniel Mills, and Tyler Brown,
And Taylor Thompson.
and Taylor Thompson. And they're all seasonal, part-time employees, correct?
All of them are lifeguards, but the two in the front.
And the two in the front are meter attendants.
I'll make a motion to hire those individuals.
Second.
Motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Jarvis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Does anybody else have anything under new business?
Got two quick things.
Okay.
As long as you were hiring, I'm sorry, could we hire one more dock attendant? Because what's happened is we only got 4, and we've had, like, my daughter was sick today and she couldn't get one to lap in for her, so I'd like to hire one, and I talked to the young boy that has his application in, and he'd be willing to just be an on-call person, so if we needed him, like we do the lifeguards, he could come in and work that afternoon. I talked to him today, and he said he'd be willing to do it. It'd only be a few hours if we need him for one of the, to cover one of the other ones.
Okay.
That would be Miles Kearns.
You said we need to, I got one more thing.
I got 3 things. Let me finish
Okay,
mine
well,
first.
why don't we get to the one we're talking about?
Miles Kearns.
Miles Kearns.
He would be just a call-in dock attendant for.
And he's a local,
Yes,
local boy, correct?
lives right on our street.
I'd like to make a motion that we hire Miles Kearns as a as-needed dock attendant.
Motion by trustee Williams,
Second.
seconded by trustee Penn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
One other thing, Lonnie probably knows all about this too. The FCC communication radios, our radios, our radios in our trucks and stuff will become obsolete. And to upgrade our trucks, which our radios, I think they were probably put in way before you, Rod, they're all no good. They all gotta be replaced, it's gonna cost you about $6 grand. So my question is, and you guys can answer this one as well as I can, do we need radios? Is there, I mean, all 90% of us got cell phones.
That's what I was gonna say, all
We're
over.
just in the village, I mean, it's not like we're in an emergency thing where we can.
Well, you all have phones in your departments. We pay for all the department heads to have.
I mean, I don't think you, Mary Lou, how many
Yeah.
times you use yours, once, twice,
The
maybe a year?
radio,
Yeah.
mostly somebody calling for you when you're in the
Right.
back room.
I think I've used the one
And we
down
can
at the
get rid of
barn
that
maybe
desk
4 or
in the
5
corner.
times. I mean, we're all together, we're within a truck length apart from each other. I'm just saying, if you wanna spend 6,000, that's what it's gonna, 5,900 is gonna cost you to upgrade those
I don't see any
radios.
reason to, what does everybody else
It's
think?
crazy, and if not, we just need to let the FCC know we'll cancel our license and do away with those radios.
Hmm?
The police just changed all theirs over.
That was cheap though.
Yeah,
It didn't cost much.
What's that, the police?
Yeah.
No, because they
They
didn't
got,
need radios.
they got a grant or something, didn't
no?
they?
No, they didn't need radios, they just, all they do is come in with a computer and reprogram their radios, because their radios are up to date. Ours are all old things that can't be reprogrammed.
What's
I
the
think we
cost
got-
for the license, Greg?
Do you wanna check?
Do we know?
I really don't know, I'd have to get into our FCC, but we can just cancel the license, I mean, that's.
I just hate to give the frequency up in case we needed it.
Yeah.
You're going to the new frequency.
They're gonna go to the high band anyway?
You'd have to go to
So
high
you're gonna
band.
lose it anyway?
You're gonna lose it, they're gonna shut it
Right.
off. I'm surprised it's not gone already, because the police was,
The 15th, I think. was
the 15th of June.
cutoff.
So the other ones are gonna go, the fire department's gotta, theirs changed.
We could possibly fall under that grant for that height when they go all high.
We could if I don't know what to do with the grant, but if there's a grant, I'll grant. Gotcha. I know we need a lot of radios.
Okay. Russell and Critter are gonna look
Look
at
at
it.
it.
and
Good,
then
right?
we'll go from
Be
there.
nice to have them if you can get them. The only other question I got for you, and here we go with parking again.
Mhm.
You're gonna put the tent down the end of the street, and before I go down there and put stuff in front of that hospital parking lot that's got the gate right there and we block completely off, are they gonna be able to go in the other way? Has anybody talked to them? Cause I know once we set that tent up Thursday night, they can't get in there Friday or Monday.
I'm pretty sure that Amy was gonna undo that gate.
Okay, I'm fine, I just don't like to be the middle guy, get down there and start putting stuff
Well,
down there.
I
and
heard
screen
that, but I'm pretty sure she was gonna do that gate.
There is a way
I'll
in
look
the other
into
way,
it.
but it's fine. Huh?
I'll go talk to the hospital in the morning.
That would be great, thank
Okay.
you.
Steve, what did you have? Are you done, Greg?
Yep.
Okay, Steve?
Greg was saying about posting for guard's position or posting for Bob's position.
You have to wait till you make sure he's gonna
Right.
go with what you got, and then you've got to post for 10 days. Garrett's position.
Post 10 days in-house for
Which if
Garrett's.
you wanted to do that, if you talk to Garrett tomorrow, and he's agreeing to take that position, you could post that right 10 days right off, she can even put it in the paper, because if that one of my guys don't accept it, the guys that are in-house get the first shot at the position. If there's anybody that wants to go.
Do we need permission to post in the paper and do the 10-day in-house?
No, we don't need permission, it just needs to be done, it needs to be posted. Is it all you had?
Yes.
Anybody else have anything?
I wanted to go in executive to talk about Steve Garsaw's spot.
Yeah, we're going to.
Okay.
Yeah. Public concerns?
I have one. I'd like to express my appreciation to the board and to the village for its support for the community garden that we have up here at the intersection. We have 9 bins up there, and they're 10 by 10 each bin, and they're all in use. And without your support, I don't think we could have made a success of it this year. But the comments I've received on it has been extremely favorable. We have, all of the bins have been assigned to individuals here in the bay. There's no charge to them. And we have 2 bins which are not assigned. So rather than leave them vacant, we went ahead and planted tomatoes and vegetables in it, so that anybody who wants any vegetables or anything like this can come up there and they can help themselves. So I just wanted to say thank you for your support on that. We appreciate it very
You're
much.
welcome. Any other public concerns?
Maybe I didn't make myself perfectly clear in the beginning. Not talking about employee parking. I'm talking about like the owner of the building that doesn't have another place to park. And, I mean, like close by. I mean, I could park far away, but like I said, I have things to bring in and out and such. And probably I'm not alone, and the owners of buildings like that. I give out quarters for the meters and such, and I support the parking program. I tell people, yes, you have to put money in the meters, even when there's nobody watching the meters. I give them quarters then. And I just would appreciate if, you know, the village would take into consideration. I tell my employees to park in an employee lot or above, you know, on a side street somewhere away from downtown, and they all do that. But
My question is, do you want like a parking 24 hour, I mean, for
no,
every
just
day?
like,
I'm just,
well, it's like for most of the business day when
Right.
I'm at work, but I can't,
You know, like
I
do like
can't
a
walk
loading,
along
unloading
long ways
zone
away.
hours.
Lots of times things I'm carrying in and out, and, I just would like to be close by.
right, I just didn't, you know, I mean, I know that, like, in the cities and stuff, people that own their businesses, they get permits to park. But it's
Well,
like.
that's-
just
Yeah,
like
that's
they
basically
put
what
like
I'm
a
asking for,
loading,
is like a
non-loading
permit,
zone.
even if you pay a nominal fee for something to park there. I mean, I want the parking for my customers too, but, it just comes a time when you need parking for yourself too.
Okay, thank you. Any other public concerns? I will take a motion to go into executive for personnel.
Make a motion to go into executive
Motion
personnel.
by trustee Jarvis, seconded by trustee Williams, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?